feet back on the mat and it's gorgeous evening. Sorry, Scrappy. So hoping you've got yourself somewhere nice and quiet, somewhere that you can have a little bit of time for yourself, and perhaps have a blanket with you, perhaps have a cushion with you, but just really importantly starting to allow yourself to switch off, put yourself in a position and a shape where you feel that's what your body needs and you're going to benefit from. And as you start to come onto your mat and make yourself comfortable into your very important Shavasana, just knowing that throughout your practice, each time you come, you're going to feel completely different to last time. Allow yourself to be the prescriber of your yoga. If something doesn't feel right, just simply back off. Also very important to use your breath. So starting to really quieten that chatter in your mind, starting to relax the face, the muscles, the bones, the ligaments, the tendon. Perhaps you've chosen a traditional Shavasana where you're lying with your arms and legs away from the body like a little starfish. Just really allow the ankles to flow and flop outwardly. Allow the palms to come away from the body and arms and just palms facing the sky. Of course, you're welcome to put yourself into a goddess pose with the soles of the feet together and knees falling to the side. And if you're feeling very tight in your shoulders, you can allow the arms to just fall behind you in a cactus pose with the elbows bent. So as you're starting to switch off and starting to quieten the mind, just starting to scan the body, perhaps noticing any areas of tightness, perhaps noticing any new injuries, and perhaps noticing any blockages. So just really allowing the body to relax, allowing and affording you this time to switch off and really claim this time for yourself. If you're in a traditional Shavasana, you might like to tuck the shoulder blades a little bit closer together. It's going to open your heart center, it's going to allow the shoulders to just relax and open and release. You may like to clench the buttocks and just hover the buttocks a little, sort of few millimeters above the mat, and with a couple of breaths, holding that position, releasing down onto your mat. So as you're lying in your Shavasana, start to notice things in the body. You're probably going to notice your heart rate is slowing down, your breathing rate is slowing down, and everything now is just coming to a much, much slower pace. Focusing on your breath, noticing how you breathe with your inhalations and your exhalations. So let's simply allow now the chime to flow over and through our bodies. Slowly, let's start to bring some movement into the fingers and toes. Just doing whatever feels comfortable, clenching the wrists, spreading the fingers, And maybe starting to roll the ankles in a clockwise motion and then an anti-clockwise motion. And then simply coming back to your still. So now with an inhalation, let's simply take a turn of the head. So let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's just take a turn of the head now to the right side of the room. Eyes can be open or closed. Noticing things about the shoulder, the neck, the back of the head. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's take that gaze now to the opposite side. And always having that conversation with the body and noticing subtleties between one side of the body and the other. Let's inhale now. Let's draw the legs to centre. If you've been in a pose with the knees falling to the side in your goddess pose, just allow the knees to come together. So we're now going to start to lay on our mat. We're coming into a full stretch. If you know that you're working with a sensitive back, you can just simply bend your legs on your mat. So we're going to start to inhale now. We're just going to simply float the arms above, take a really wonderful stretch, really exaggerate that stretch, and maybe just start now to draw the toes towards you to really allow the hamstrings and the Achilles tendon to sort of awaken. Feeling the stretch in the shoulders. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. So now we're going to float the arms all the way over the torso. We're going to start to bend the legs. Have nice long arms. And just allow the index finger to just brush on the heel. Have your feet slightly pigeon-toed so the toes are turning in. And we're just going to open now with some really wonderful bridge poses. So let's inhale, we're going to raise the hips off the floor, we're going to float the arms to the back of the room. Exhale, floating the arms all the way down. And remembering when we meet the mat to tilt the pelvis. So really ground in with the feet, allow the toes to perhaps raise and then imprint. Imagine you're on a beach and we're really sort of imprinting on that hard wet sand when the tide goes out. So let's inhale now, we're going to reach, chin is on the chest, floating the arms all the way behind. Exhaling, floating the arms all the way back down again. So let's do that once more. Make any readjustments that you need to, remembering to tilt the pelvis. Imagine you've got a string in the pubic bone and we are tilting that pelvis. So we're going to inhale now, we're going to float up into our bridge pose, perhaps going a little bit higher. And some of you may like to come onto the toes. Just really feel that wonderful stretch. Exhale, hands all the way down. So we're now going to leave the arms where they are, draw the heels slightly close to the hips, push the hips and the buttocks off the floor, tuck the shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Let's interlace the hands, let's push in to the floor, onto your mat. Gauge where you need to be. You may need to go higher, you may need to back off your pose. Again, you've got an option to come onto the balls of the feet. It's optional. Pushing with the arms, with the backs of the arms and the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, release the hands now, and let's just allow the back to come onto the mat and let's just tilt that pelvis once again. So we're now going to do a little counter pose. We're going to draw the knees into the belly tightly, take the head off the floor and just tuck in like a little coconut. So you've got an option to take the hands around the feet if you wish. Inhale, exhale, allow the hands to come down, and we're now going to come straight into our happy baby. So we're flexing the feet, we're allowing the knees to fall down to the sides of the body, and we're going to resist tilting that tailbone off the mat. So we want that deeper engagement in the groin. So you can stay here, active shoulders and arms, Or you can just very gently start to rock backwards and forwards. So we've got a wonderful massage going on in the kidneys, in the adrenals. And really flexing the feet, really having that conversation, noticing how one side of the hip perhaps is a little bit more challenging than the other. Let's inhale, let's exhale, let's draw the legs together, tuck in once again, taking the head and shoulders off the mat. Let's release the head down onto the mat. We're now going to allow the soles of the feet together. And we're just going to allow the knees to fall to the side. So the feet, you can slide them down to the end of your mat, or you can bring them up that little bit further. But just remembering to just do what's right for you. So let's just start to very gently place the hands on the insides of the thighs and just start to pulsate. So just getting that wonderful feeling of where we're at, or perhaps where we're not at. And remembering to adjust constantly in your poses if something doesn't feel good for you. So we're going to inhale now. Keep breathing, filling all the way to the top, and exhaling, releasing. Just allowing the body to heat, all the muscles, and then just simply starting to slowing that movement down. We're now going to inhale, we're going to take the arms to the side of the body and we're going to draw the knees together. So we're now going to do a little counter pose. So take the soles of the feet to the edges of your mat and just allow your knees to sort of become knock knees. Just a little counter pose from that wonderful goddess pose that we started with. Some of you may have already done that in a Shavasana in your opening sort of part of your practice. So we're now going to bring both the feet together. We're going to take the arms out to the side and we're just going to start to window wipe the knees. So we're just inhaling, exhaling, allowing the knees to sort of window wipe from either side. Just getting a really nice twist in the body, just gauging where we're at. And whichever way your knees are sort of leaning to, take that gaze once you get into a nice rhythm. So we're knees on one side and gaze is on the other side. So we're sort of encouraging normal rotation of that spine, getting a nice massage in those supreme organs. Remember, let your breath and movement reflect. And then let's simply come back to centre. So we're now going to start to just give the legs a little bit of a shake. Let's just wake them up. And let's just start to do the same with the hands and the feet. So we look a bit crazy, but that's fine. We're just generating heat and energy into our body. Fabulous. So, once we've sort of really built up quite a momentum, just take the arms down to the side, just let the legs hang, and just really appreciate and notice that tingling in the legs, that sort of feeling of being alive. It's almost like a sort of a gentler version of pins and needles, but it's really wonderful. So we're now going to inhale. We're going to draw the knees into centre. We're going to allow the legs to come onto the mat, and we're going to allow the right leg to outstretch. We're going to inhale, exhale across the left leg over the right, reach up to the back of the room, feel the intercostal muscles, really opening, inhale, exhale, folding that leg over, taking the gaze over to the left, and just gauging where you need to be in your stretch. So you can always allow the right shoulder to shuffle to the edge of the mat. It's going to allow us that sort of deeper stretch, that deeper twist. Let's inhale, exhale. So let's roll back onto the mat. Let's come into a tree pose where we're going to allow the knee on the left side to open. So you can have it on the shin, so not on the shin, on the calf, or you can draw it up into the inner thigh. We're going to float the arms all the way to the back of the room, and we're going to start to activate this right leg. If you wish, you can rotate that ankle, just coating it with synovial fluid as we're moving, and really allowing the foot to draw towards us. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. So let's float the hands over the top. Let's draw this left leg in. Let's inhale. Draw the right leg in. Extend the left. Cross the right leg over your left. Reach with the left arm. Inhale. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Float the hand down onto the right leg. And then just start to come into your twisting pose. Extend the right arm away. Take the gaze over that right shoulder and just gauge where you need to be in that twist. Shoulder can always shuffle out to the outside on the left. Again, it's just going to allow that deeper twist. And some of you might want to tuck the right leg and foot under the lower leg. That's entirely up to you. Inhale. Exhale. So let's roll back onto our back and let's come into our tree pose. So allowing the right leg to fall open, sole either on the calf or hoisting it up onto near the groin. Entirely up to you where you take it. Float the arms all the way back into cactus, and then just start to activate the left leg. So imagine you're supported and you're standing, drawing your toes towards the ceiling, towards you. Noticing how the shoulders are opening. Last breath here. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Float the hands all the way over the top now. Draw this right leg back to centre. Draw left leg back to centre. And let's really tuck in tight. So we're really drawing this head and the knee together. And we're opening the back of the spine. So we're now going to reach with the legs. Allow them to reach out. Draw the toes towards you. And some of you might like to sort of creep up the legs, entirely up to you. Notice one leg compared to the other. Inhale, exhale. Just allow the legs to draw in. So now I'm going to start to rock and roll backwards and forwards. And again, you can allow the knees to fall open and you just tap. Do what you need to do. And work out where you're at. You can grab onto your toes, you can straighten both legs in your halasana, but remembering to be really careful and to resist turning from side to side. You've also got an option to come into your cosmic egg where the knees are sort of coming towards the head, or perhaps to the sides of the ears. And some of you may like to just continue to rock and roll. So when you're ready, in your own time, just coming to the centre of your mat. So just allow the soles of the feet to come together, interlace your hands, really sit tall, allow the shoulders to fall away from the ears. And again, let's just start a really nice, wonderful sort of bouncing of both legs. Again, just really noticing one side of the body to the other. You've always got an option to allow the feet to come that little bit further away. It's entirely up to you. So just very gently encouraging that sort of opening in the hips, but still always sitting up straight. Draw the belly in. And then let's just start to slow that down. So we're now going to start to cross the legs. We're really going to sit tall. We're going to inhale, we're going to reach up to the sky. Take the gaze to the thumb. Inhale, exhale. Very gently, just start to take the right elbow, tap. Inhale, come back to centre. Inhale, exhale. Left elbow, coming back to centre. So inhaling, exhaling. Tap. Come back to centre. Inhale, exhale. Tap. Last time. Inhale, exhale. Tap. Come back to centre. Inhale, exhale. Tap. So sending the arms all the way up to the back of the room. Back stroking the arms all the way back to the mat. Allowing your hands to be your support. Keep the fingers spread. And then just very gently start to raise the hips. Exhaling. So inhaling. Exhaling. So just taking it to your edge. We're just opening that front body, opening the hips. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last time, inhaling. And exhaling. So coming back to centre. Sitting tall. Let's cross the legs over now. So still sitting tall, reaching through crown, reaching through sternum, taking the arms all the way up to the sky, inhaling. Exhaling, coming down through a strong Anjali Mudra. So we're actually sort of igniting the biceps. We're pushing the palms together. We're now going to start that little tapping with the elbows. We're going to inhale, exhale. So to the left. Inhale, come back to centre. Inhale, exhale. So you're going to really feel that sort of tightness in one or either of the hips. Inhale, exhale, just tapping. Inhale, exhale, tap. Inhale, exhale. So just get a nice rhythm going. Just notice which hip is tighter than the other. Come back to centre. Just finishing now on that left side. Really sitting tall. Send the prayer hands all the way up. Float the arms all the way to the back of the room. Spread the fingers to allow a little bit of a support. And we're going to very gently start to raise the hips again. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. Raising the hips. And exhaling. So last time, inhaling. And exhaling. So sitting tall, bringing your hands back into prayer. Let's now come into our tabletop. So we're just going to come onto the side now. We're going to have our fingers spread, making full contact with the mat, all parts of the palm. And we're just going to allow the knees to just come under the hips. So we're going to just do a couple of rounds of our cow-cat. So let's inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let's push our head forward, draw the shoulders back away from the ears. Inhale, curl the toes. Exhale, bend the head on the mat. Or float the head on the mat. And just really draw in. So we're opening that back body, we're curling the toes. Inhale, exhale. Come back to centre. And release the toes. And inhale. Exhale. So let's come into our cow-cat. So really draw the shoulders away. Inhale, exhale, curl the toes. Let's roll. Open, curl the toes. Open the back body, gaze between the legs. Inhale, exhale, come back to your neutral tabletop. So we're now going to come into our, we're just going to move the hands that little bit further forward. I want you to bring the butt all the way down to the hips, and I want you to widen the knees so we're in a cat stretch. So we're literally reaching forward with those arms. And we're now going to start to inhale. We're going to come up like little meerkats. Take the gaze to the sky. Inhale, exhale. And lowering the head all the way down, feeling that stretch. Inhale, come onto the fingertips now. Little meerkats, let's inhale. Take the gaze to the sky, or as high as you can. Exhale, floating all the way down. Inhale. Coming onto the fingertips, taking that gaze forward. Perhaps a wee bit higher if we can. Inhale, exhale. Releasing the head all the way down. So we're now going to start to come back up on the hands. We're going to draw the knees together. We're going to walk the hands that little bit further forward. We're going to curl the toes. Now we're just going to push back into our down dog. So let's just start to walk the dog. We're just paddling. Imagine we're sort of walking through molasses. So you're having that conversation with your body. You're just realising and just working out where you're at. And then let's very gently start to come into our steady down dog. So let's just remind ourselves our fingers are spread, triceps towards the heart, and let's reach with the sit bones, gaze between the legs. We're looking like an inverted V. So we're just going to very gently now, we're going to roll forward, draw the belly in, shoulders above the wrists. Exhale, push back into your down dog. Let's inhale, draw the belly in. Exhale, push back into your down dog. So last time, let's inhale, draw the belly in, shoulders over the wrists, fingers are spread, come onto the toes if you can. Exhale, push back into your down dog. So we're now going to start to just bend the knees, so just lowering the knees, taking that gaze forward. Inhale, exhale, back into down dog. So twice more, inhale. Allow the knees to just hover, take the gaze forward and push back into your down dog. So last time, inhaling, allowing the knees to come just hovering over that mat, take the gaze forward. Inhale, exhale, push back into your down dog. So allow the knees to come onto the floor now. So instead of coming into a cat stretch, we're coming into a child's pose. So just allow the head to rest on the mat. So you've got an option to keep the hands in front. You can flip them like little pancakes. If you feel they need a little bit of a stretch, or you can take the arms behind you, interlace them, rest them on the back. If you want a shoulder stretch, you can just simply take the arms away from the body. Just gauging where you're at. Inhale, exhale, just allowing the hands to release back down. So taking the arms now in line with the shoulders, fingers spread. Let's curl the toes. Let's push back into our down dog. So we're now going to inhale, we're going to exhale, we're going to take the right leg on the outside of the mat and we're just going to gaze now over to the foot. So you can stay on the ball of the foot or you can turn that foot out. It's a gentle twist, so push back, inhale, exhale. Let's take the right foot back onto the mat, let's inhale, exhale. Taking this left foot out to the side now and then we're just gazing so you can keep on the ball of the foot. Or you can turn that foot to the side. So we're just getting a really wonderful sort of stretch, particularly in the hamstring, on that right leg. So we're now going to inhale, exhale, coming back onto the mat. We're now going to come and do a couple of our chaturanga dandasanas. So we're going to inhale, we're going to draw the belly in. We're going to have our shoulders above our wrists. We're going to drop to the knees, we're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to scoop all the way through and we're going to come up, peeling the body off the mat, perhaps coming onto the fronts of the feet, draw the shoulders away from the ears, inhale, exhale, bring the butt all the way down to the heels and take a really nice stretch in the arms. Let's inhale, let's curl the toes, let's push back into our down dog. So we're now going to inhale, we're going to float forward into our chaturanga dandasana. So we're really keeping those shoulders in line with the wrists. We're drawing the belly in. Some of us are going to start to come onto our knees. Others are going to do a full chaturanga dandasana. Coming up. Inhale, exhale. Bringing the butt all the way down to the heels. Really feeling that stretch. So last time now. Inhale, exhale. Coming back into your down dog. Really draw the belly in. Reach with the sit bones. Inverted V. Inhale. So we're going to float forward. Shoulders above the wrists. Some of us are going to drop onto the mat. Others are going to do a full chaturanga dandasana as we sort of come all the way up. Inhale, exhale. Draw the feet and the butt together to meet, so really feeling that stretch. Use this opportunity to maybe just sort of wiggle the fingers. Let's inhale. Exhale, let's curl the toes, let's push back into our down dog. So we're now going to inhale, we're going to bend the knees, we're going to take the gaze forward, and we're going to leapfrog. So you can sort of have a few little bounces to sort of just work up that energy, or you're just going to step forward to the front of the mat. So we're going to inhale, exhale, jumping to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold. So we're just going to have our hands on our feet, around the ankles, take a little bend in the knees if you need to. We're going to inhale, we're going to glide the hands just below the knees, take the gaze forward, come into your gazing pose, draw the shoulders back away from the ears. Inhale, exhale. So just coming back into your forward fold. Inhale, exhale. So gliding the hands all the way up the front of the body and allowing the shoulders to roll back. So we're coming to the front of our mat. We are in our Tadasana, so we're feeling grounded. And maybe lift the toes and just get a little sway going to just work out where your centre point is. We're now going to inhale. We're going to exhale. We're going to step comfortably back with that right leg. Place the hands on the hips. And we're just going to ease and tease the hips and the shoulders so they're facing front. We're now going to inhale. Exhale, we're going to come into our warrior one. We're going to reach up with the arms. We're going to check the alignment of that front knee. So we're really reaching beautifully here with the arms. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale. We're going to come into our Virabhadrasana 2. So in our Virabhadrasana 2, we're checking the alignment of our knee. We're reaching with the arms. We're gazing off that front index finger. Imagine you're drawing the feet together. That's really going to sort of ignite the energy. So we're really sort of working that energy, working those Shushumas. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale. And we're just going to come back into our reverse warrior. So we're reaching up to the sky. Keep breathing. Don't forget to, don't hold your breath. Inhale. Exhale, come back to your Virabhadrasana 2. We're now going to inhale, we're going to exhale, we're going to bring this hand all the way back up to our warrior one. We're now going to inhale, exhale, place the hands onto the front of the mat, and from the back leg, you're going to push up, and let's come into our standing splits. So if you haven't got bricks, you could maybe use a tin of beans, just something to lower the hands. So we're keeping the hands on the floor and we're just going to raise that back leg. Inhale, exhale. Tap this right leg on the floor. Inhale, exhale. Raise that leg up. Inhale, exhale. Tap. Inhale, exhale. Reach. So you can keep a bend in the front leg if you wish. Some of you might like to take the left hand around the back and you might just want to draw yourself in that wee bit more. Entirely up to you. Inhale, exhale. Allow the right foot to come to the left. Let's inhale now. let's swoop into our Uttanasana. So we're reaching with the arms, we're drawing the belly in, and we're just sort of gauging where we're at. So lifting the toes, placing them down as we inhale. Exhale, so just push that energy all the way to the back of the room. Take the arms as high or as low as you wish. Inhale, come back to Uttanasana. Inhale, exhale. So allow the hands to come all the way down. Arms as high as you like or as low. Inhale, exhale, back to Uttanasana. Inhale, exhale. Allow the hands to float all the way to the back of the room. Inhale, exhale. Come back to Uttanasana. So let's just take 3 breaths in our Uttanasana. Great for strengthening the ankles. Great for strengthening the quads. Maybe go a little bit deeper in your chair pose. Last breath here. Inhale, exhale, reach. So bring the palms together. Inhale, exhale, come down through your Ujjayi Mudra. Hands all the way down to the side, so realigning, perhaps coming back into your Tadasana. We're now going to inhale. Exhale, we're going to step back with the left foot. So again, checking the alignment, heel to heel or heel to mid-arch. Notice differences between one side of the body and the other. Placing the hands on the hips and easing and teasing the hips forward. So now we're going to sweep dynamically into our Warrior One. Really reaching with those arms, checking the alignment of that front knee. Let's inhale now. Let's exhale, let's come into our Virabhadrasana 2. So our Virabhadrasana 2, we're still always checking the alignment of that front knee. The gaze is off the index right finger, and we're lowering the shoulders, but we're being pulled in 2 directions. We're also trying to imagine we're drawing the feet together. So this pose is really active. We're now going to inhale. Exhale, let's float back into our reverse warrior. So you can rest that hand on the back of the leg. We're going to reach. So it's a gentle twisting pose, very gentle. Reach and gaze to the sky. Look at the fingers, look at the arm. Keep breathing. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's come back to our Virabhadrasana 2. So we really are, again, reaching. Checking the alignment of that knee, protecting the knee. We're going to inhale. Exhale, allow the arms to come down to the side. Take the arms up in front. So we're back into our Warrior One. Inhale, exhale, allow the hands to come to the front of the mat. So we're now going to push off our back foot and we're going to come into our standing splits. So again, you can have your tins of beans ready, or your bricks if you have any. Just something that can lower or heighten the hands if you wish. So remember, with our standing splits, we can open this hip and gauge where you're at. So we're going to inhale, come into your standing splits. Exhale, tap. Inhale, release that left leg. Exhale, tap, inhale, left leg comes away into those standing splits. Exhale, tap. So let's inhale now, let's leave this left leg to go away into your standing split. So if you wish, you can take your right hand, grab the back of the thigh, and you can just pull in that a little bit deeper if that's what you feel you need. Of course, it's only a suggestion. Inhaling, exhaling. Allow the left leg now to join the right, and let's come once again into our Uttanasana, where we're really reaching through the arms. So we're now going to inhale, exhale, push the arms to the back of the room. Inhale. So you might like to try coming onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Take the arms as far away as needs be. Inhale, perhaps come onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, exhale, come all the way down. Let the arms go to the back. Inhale, exhale. Let's come into our Uttanasana. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Arms to the back of the room. Inhale, exhale. So we're now going to hold for 3 breaths. So you can be on the balls of your feet, or you can keep on the flats of your feet, on the soles. Last breath here, maybe going a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale. Let's just come into a delicious stretch. So maybe come into a Kesapana as we just allow the body to just go into a mini back bend. Inhale, exhale. Come back to centre. So let's allow the hands now to come down through Anjali Mudra. Place the hands on the thighs. Inhale, exhale. Let's come all the way down into our forward fold. So hands just coming onto the ankles. Draw the belly in. Inhale, exhale. Come into gazing pose. Take the gaze ahead. Draw the shoulders back. Inhale, exhale. So we're now going to come, just allowing the knees to bend. And let's try, for some of us anyway, coming into a sitting yogi. So your sitting yogi, you can support yourself if you've got any bricks, or just a little box if you haven't got any bricks. You can actually sit on them, but it's a hip opener, so we're sort of using the elbows to lever the hips open. Really pushing the palms together and still really reaching up through the crown of our head. So really feel that wonderful hip opener. Which side is perhaps a little bit tighter than the other. Remember to breathe. So some of you might like to stay here, or you might like to take your hands on the floor and just take one leg to the side and just get a really nice stretch here. You can gaze at this foot, or you can reach. Inhale, exhale, so come back to your sitting yogi. Sit tall. Staying here, or taking the hands down as we take another stretch, as we take our weight into both hands. Taking the leg out to the side, and if you wish, just taking the hands out to a stretch, hamstring stretch, it's entirely up to you, or keeping the hands here and sort of just shifting that weight. Inhale, exhale, let's just come back now to our sitting yogi. Let's just maybe come onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, exhale, lowering. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. And some of you may just be on the cushion or on your brick. Sorry, not the cushion, the brick. And just having a wonderful hip opener. Last time, inhaling, coming onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, just releasing the heels onto the mat. So let's now just draw the legs together. Take the legs out to the side, and let's just give them a little bit of a tap. Just getting a really nice tap. And just slot the hands now sort of comfortably, just sort of behind the backs of the knees. Let's come into our staff pose where we're sitting tall, drawing the belly in, and just really reaching through crown. Draw the toes towards you. Just gauging where you're at, how do the legs feel, having a conversation with your hips. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. So let's keep the feet. Let's bend the legs. And let's really, really sit tall. So a couple of variations here. Some of you are going to draw the legs together and keep them like so. Sorry, keep the hands under the hips, not draw the legs together. Have the knees and the ankles, if you can, try and keep them at the same height. Really, really sit tall. Others may like to come into a prayer. Push the palms together as we inhale. Exhale, take the gaze over to the right side of the room. Push the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, come back to centre as we inhale. Exhale, take that gaze over the left shoulder. Remember, some of you may well decide to just stay in support here. Do what you need to do. Prescribe the yoga that you need for yourself. Inhale, exhale. Allow the feet to come onto the floor. And let's just really lean forward. So it's just really a little counter pose. So you can reach to the front of your mat. Or you can just take the hands around the feet and really draw yourself in. So we're going to start to inhale there. And we're just going to very gently start to release onto our mat. We're going to come into a little variation of fish pose. We're going to have nice long legs. Place your hands on your hips and just allow the head to fall back. So this is really great for strengthening the shoulders. When you're ready, in your own time, just start to slide the hands away. Very tentatively, come onto your mat and just start to put yourself into a Shavasana. So that may well be your traditional Shavasana with the arms and legs away from the body, ankles falling to the sides very gently. And just really starting to switch off. Noticing things about the body which perhaps comparing how you feel now to how you did before. Remember, you can tuck the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, take the arms away, or you've got that option, if you like, coming into your goddess pose, soles of the feet together, allow the arms to float overhead into a cactus. So really starting to soften the face, soften the jawbone, allow the eyes to sink into the back of your head. Really relaxing. If somebody that finds it very difficult to switch off, you could almost maybe sort of have a little mantra. I am balanced, I am centered, I am peace. Noticing the heart rate slowing down. Noticing the breath on the top lip. And just really having that conversation with the body. Focusing and listening on the birds. The acoustics are wonderful in my conservatory. So let's allow the chime now to simply flow and vibrate over and through our bodies. Slowly, slowly, start to invite awareness back into the body. So moving fingers and toes, perhaps making circles with the wrists, with the ankles, spreading the toes, spreading the fingers, and just coming back to step. So now with an inhalation, if you're in a goddess pose, perhaps start to draw the legs together. If you're in a traditional shavasana, draw the legs together, but keep the legs bent if you're working with a sensitive back. And let's fully inhale now as we float the arms to the back of the room, really inviting length, alignment and space into your spine. When you're ready in your own time, inhale, exhale, start to float the arms over the torso. When you're ready in your own time, draw the knees with an inhalation into the belly and maybe take a rocking motion from side to side. So once again getting a wonderful massage over the backs of the kidneys, the back of the kidneys, the adrenals, the shoulder blades, the back of the head. Come back to still. When you're ready in your own time, just start to make your way, roll over onto your right side and make your way up to a comfortable seated pose. But remembering our posture, even in our seated pose at the end of practice, we're sitting tall, shoulders are relaxed, and we're coming into our Anjali Mudra. Thumbs making gentle contact with heart center, reaching with crown, chin slightly tucked in. I am centered. I am balanced. I am peace. Namaste, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to your mat today and affording yourself this time. I hope you found some benefits. Namaste. Thank you from Scrappy and I. Thank you.